Hitzafrik Radio.
The News Hour. The News Hour coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned. Download the tuning app onto your mobile phone today and catch up on all the latest news from Hitzafrik Radio. Broadcasting live on modern Ghana and our website www.hitzafrikradio.org. Hitzafrik Radio News Hour live.
It's a good evening in the studios of Hitzafrik Radio. It is exactly 19 hours GMT on the 28th of March 2021. I'm your uncle, Abena Ahinia. Stay tuned as I bring you the news in headlines. Easter conventions, Palm Sundays, and Easter Monday picnics cancelled. Collaborate with engineers for a national development. NGO initiate projects to get girls back to God. Tulo to invest 1.4 billion in oil fields. Germany tightens borders amid alarm over pandemic. These and many other stories I come your way this evening. Stay tuned as I bring you the news in details. We are streaming live on YouTube at Hitzafrik Radio. Don't forget to bring in your comments on the comments section. We are live on our website at www.hitzafrikradio.org. Now let's do the news in details. Avoid Easter conventions, Palm Sunday processions, Easter Monday picnics, etc., etc. CCG to churches. Most Reverend Dr. Kwabena Boafo, the Christian Council of Ghana, CCG, has directed all churches to avoid Easter conventions in public places, Palm Sunday processions, and Easter Monday picnics. These activities, according to the council, have the tendency to spread coronavirus diseases. It, however, said these activities could be celebrated quietly in their chapel buildings while adhering to the protocols. The Christian ecumenical bodies are, however, mindful that COVID-19 is still with us, and therefore we must celebrate modestly to avoid the spike in COVID cases after the Easter festivals. This was contained in a letter dated Wednesday, March 25th, 2021, issued and signed by the chairperson of CCG, Most Reverend Dr. Kwabena Boafo, on behalf of all Christian ecumenical bodies. The ban on public gathering is still in force, so Easter conventions in public places, Palm Sunday processions, and Easter Monday picnics must be avoided. These activities have the tendency to spread the virus that could be celebrated quietly in our chapels. The Christian ecumenical bodies are, however, mindful that COVID-19 is still with us, and therefore we must celebrate modestly to avoid the spike in COVID cases after the Easter festivities. We are also aware that many local churches have shown leadership in the way they have handled themselves during the church services in this difficult time by observing all the protocols given by our health workers, the government, and the church. We say, God bless you for your continuous cooperation. With the same spirit of cooperation, we deem it fit to bring to the attention of churches the following guide, our Easter celebrations. The ban on public gathering is still in force, so Easter conventions in public places, Palm Sunday processions, and Easter Monday picnics must be avoided. These activities have the tendency to spread the virus but could be celebrated quietly in our chapel buildings while adhering to the protocols. The 2-hour duration for church services announced by the government is still in place and should be enforced. Continue to observe social distancing during the Easter festivities. The church should intensify education on the use of masks not only during service, but before and after as well. Preachers and choristers should also be in their masks while ministering. Sanitize microphones in between use. We encourage all members to avoid crowded places and to stay at home as much as possible before, during, and after the Easter festivities. We should also limit Easter-related travels and family reunions as much as we can. Explore the use of technology, virtual or online media for your Easter activities. May this Easter cause us to exhibit the love of God, which is shared abroad in our hearts. God bless you, Chairperson CCG, for and on behalf of the Christian Economical Bodies, the Christian Council of Ghana, CCJ, Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, GCBC, Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, GPCC, National Association of Christian and Charismatic Churches, NACCC, Ghana Charismatic Bishops Conference, GCBC. In other stories, collaborate with engineers for national development, Asantehene and Treat government. Nana Poku Ajiman, holding discussions with Ohiniba Buachi Ejei Wahene II, Otumfuo's Hiahene, after the AGM in Kumasi, looking on as Mr. Kwabna Ejei Ejapon. The Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has entreated the government to forge closer collaboration with the Ghana Institute of Engineering, GHIE, to develop effective strategies to tackle some of the critical challenges in the country. He said engineers had a key role to play in the accelerated growth of the country, and therefore regular consultations with them could lead to best practices. Our fate shall be sealed if we do not make use of our God-given talents, become innovative, and bring new applications to the fore in the 21st century, the Otumfuo added. This was contained in a speech read on behalf of the Asantehene by the Hiahene Oheniba Buachi Ejei Wahene II at the 51st Annual General Meeting, AGM, of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, GHIE, in Kumasi last Wednesday. It was on the theme Engineering, Key to Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. According to the Asantehene, the country has progressed steadily due to the significant contribution of engineers, adding that engineering was a tool that could facilitate the economic development of the country, including the attaining of the SDGs. Engineering challenges lives, it changes countries, and it will change our world, he said. On the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, the Otumfuo said, COVID-19 has taught us many lessons, including learning at first hand, and it will take to study at home. He urged the private sector to be innovative to stay afloat in the wake of the pandemic as efforts were made to contain the spread of the virus. The chairman of the local organization committee of the conference, Nana Opoku Ajiman, said the institution would continue to play a major role in ensuring that standards and guidelines governing engineering practice in the country were enforced. He added that the GHIE would not hesitate to investigate cases of unethical behavior by members and would ensure that those found guilty were penalized in line with the institution's code of ethics. Present at the conference were the outgoing president of the Ghana Education Council, Mr. Leslie Alexander Aye, the president-elect of the association, Reverend Professor Charles Adams, and the executive director of the GHIE, Mr. Kwabna Ejei Ejapon. In other stories, NGO initiates projects to get girls back to school. Hajia Lamnatu Adam, executive director of Sanctaba making a presentation on their activities at the launch. WWF and some beneficiaries of the partner organizations project after the launch. Haja Lamnatu Adam, executive of the Songtaba, making a presentation on their activities at the launch. The initiative, according to the organization, is to increase enrollment of girls back to school following the reopening of school in January this year. Schools were closed in March last year following the outbreak of COVID-19 in Ghana. The executive director of Songtaba, Hajia Lamnatu Adam, disclosed when she presented the activities that her organization was taking to promote girls' education in the northern region at the launch of a grant funding by the Vibrant Village Foundation (VVF) in Tamale on Monday, March 22, 2021, to support 3 non-governmental organizations working in northern Ghana. The grant is to support the 3 NGOs who are working in the various thematic areas, including but not limited to flood security, livelihoods and financial well-being, family health, education, gender and child protection in communities across northern Ghana. The beneficiary NGOs are Songtaba, Peace for Life Ghana, PLG, and Pure Trust Social Investment Foundation, PTSIF, Re-Entry Policy for Girls. Haja Lamnatu said statistics released by the GES indicated an increased number of girls who might not return back to school after COVID-19 due to teenage pregnancy and other factors when schools resume in January 2021. Songtaba has therefore identified this area as a great concern that needs to be addressed by stakeholders in the education sector, she stated. She said her outfit shall focus its attention on the re-entry policy for girls for GES to sensitize communities in their operational areas, especially the northern region, to get girls back to school. She added that her organization would also work closely with the GES to identify districts and girls with schools' high attrition rate of girls dropping out of school so as to support them to get back to school, remain and complete their education, while those who have interest to learn vocational skills to do so. Hadia Lamnatu said Songtaba has targeted to reach out about 100 girls and get them back to school and strengthen child protection system in the northern region during the 12-month duration for the support. He said WWF is a private foundation headquarters in Portland, Oregon in the US and established in 2010 primarily to support rural communities in underserved regions to achieve self-sufficiency and have the opportunity to thrive. Moving on to other stories, Tulo to invest 4.4 billion in oil fields. Dr. Matthew Opoku Pampe, Minister of Education, addressing the meeting, Tullow Oil Ghana has announced a $4.4 billion investment in the country's oil fields over a 10-year period. The investment will be channeled into drilling of more than 50 new oil wells and the installations of additional subsea infrastructure on the Jubilee and Chonibua, and Ria and Intome TEN oil fields. It forms part of Tullow's comprehensive plan to deliver maximum value for the country and stakeholders, the Ghana Value Maximization Plan. The Managing Director, MD of Tullow Oil Ghana, Mr. Wissam Al-Monthiri, disclosed this when the Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe, interacted with the management of company via Zoom on last Wednesday. The company also discussed some outstanding issues between Tullow and the government. Dr. Pempe said the government believed in the ability of individuals and corporate entities operating in the community and country to generate value from their investments. We want to have a long-term partnership with the country and company, and I believe it is important to look back at our relationship and see how we can move on, the minister said. For his part, Mr. Al-Munthiri said the company, which was the pioneer operator of the country's oil fields, had played a key role in the growth and best practices in the oil and gas sector since 2006. We believe the benefits of Ghana in terms of revenues from petroleum will total over $10 billion based on $555, $65 oil price. Jubilee and TEN comprise of multiple fields with an average of 13% of resources recovered. Since inception, Tullow and partners have invested over $19 billion in exploration, development, and production of the assets. He said local participants received $10.7 billion worth of contracts. In other stories, IGP cautions churches ahead of Easter. Hold 2-hour service. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. James Opon-Buana, has called on religious bodies, especially churches, to hold services within 2 hours during the Easter festivities. He noted that during Easter, religious activities across the country were always on the increase, and it was therefore important to reduce the numbers and strictly observe all the COVID-19 protocols. Conventions, crusades, pilgrimages, and such large physical gatherings are not allowed, he stressed in an exclusive interview with the Daily Graphic yesterday. Outlining measures put in place by the police to ensure peaceful festivities, the IGP said the police would provide enhanced security during the festivities, and that would include the deployment of plainclothes and uniformed officers to monitor compliance with the COVID-19 protocols and take the necessary actions. For church or religious burial services, the maximum number of participants should be 100. In all cases, the COVID-19 protocols are expected to be observed, with a duration not exceeding 2 hours, Mr. Opon-Buana stated. On road safety, the IGP said together with its partners, police officers would be present at mapped-out traffic congestions and accident-prone areas, and that people who drove beyond speed limits, overloaded, drank while driving, and indulged in such other traffic irregularities would be arrested. I call on all to continuously give maximum support to the police and security services to facilitate the provision of adequate and guaranteed security. The police are your partners on a common drive to consolidate peace and security and to also promote social cohesion, Mr. Opon-Buana said. The police administration encouraged the public to continue to be vigilant, and in cases of emergency crime situations, the public should call 0550 323323, 0550 323323, or 0275 000156, 0275 000156. Also, free numbers 18555, 191, and 112. Moving on to other news in Africa. Egypt. Blockade in Egypt's Suez Canal caused an estimated $9 billion worth of goods delay. Cargo traffic on the Suez Canal in Egypt an estimated $9 billion worth of goods daily, according to farm shipping journal's Lloyd's list. With each passing day, the closed Suez Canal in Egypt is costing an estimated $9 billion worth of goods that should be passing through the waterway, according to famed shipping journal Lloyd's list. The blockade is causing disruption in the flow of cargo traffic in the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. Every day, 70 ships carrying a total of 4 million tons of cargo transit through the canal. It means millions of tons of cargo traveling to various destinations the world over have now been sitting idle since Tuesday, 9th of March 23rd. The Suez Canal in Egypt is a critical waterway and used by 10% of the world's maritime trade. A complicated mission has since been underway to free the vessel known as Ever Given. The vessel is one of the world's largest container ships, carrying 20,000 containers and weighs more than 200,000 tons. Chairman of the Suez Canal Authority told the media that, despite the blockade, some cargoes have been able to move south, adding that effort to remove Ever Given to free up traffic will continue. According to the shipping experts in the blockade, it's unlikely to be lifted in the next 24 to 48 hours. Some shipping companies would be coerced to divert ships around the southern tip of Africa. This will add about a week to the voyage. In other stories of Kenya, Kenya has imposed a new lockdown to combat a surge in coronavirus infections. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Friday announced a ban on all inland travel in the capital Nairobi and out 4 other countries. Kenya's COVID-19 positivity rate has jumped from 2% to 22% between January and March, and Nairobi accounts for nearly 60% of the cases. Kenyatta said the hospital admissions had increased 52% in the past 2 weeks, and that at least 7 people are dying every day from coronavirus. No road, rail, or air transport will be permitted in Nairobi, Kajiado, Kiambu, Machakos, and Nakuru. In-person meetings will also be banned. As for curfew, hours now start at 20 o'clock GMT until 4 o'clock AM instead of 20 o'clock until 4 o'clock AM. In the 5 countries, special passes that allow people to travel during curfew hours have also been revoked. Alcohol sales in the areas have also been banned, and restaurants can only provide takeaway services. The presidents in the areas have also been banned, and restaurants can only provide takeaway services. The president also ordered an immediate suspension of all face-to-face teaching, which includes universities, with the Kenya reopened its schools and colleges in early January, which had been closed for 10 months. All sporting events are also suspended. International travel is permitted but subject to a negative coronavirus test. This week, Kenya recorded between 1,000 and 1,500 cases per day. According to our health experts, our third wave started to gain strength in early March, said Kenyatta. The peak of this wave is expected in the next 30 days, with more than 2,500 to 3,000 cases per day, he added. Recognizing the impact these decisions would have on the economy, Kenyatta added that these measures are temporary and necessary to contain the spread of the disease and therefore to stop further loss of life. I am convinced that the cost of inaction will be much worse, he said. Moving on to another country of Africa, Libya, bulldozers and looting threatens Libya's ancient treasures. The spectacular rains on the ancient Greek city of Cyrene survived Libya's 2011 revolution and an ensuing decade of lawlessness, but today they face new threats, plunder, and bulldozers. Under balmy spring sunshine, a handful of tourists have advantage of the North African country's month-old ceasefire to wander around the Temple of Zeus. Perched atop a wind-battered hill near the eastern end of Libya's Mediterranean coast, there are no queues here. The scarce visitors, all Libyans, amble through the sanctuary of Apollo and the amphitheater. Before visiting a museum, housing faceless bust all Greek vicinities and naked statues in marble. Founded in the 7th century BC, Cyrene was one of the principal cities in the Hellenic world. According to the UN's country's agency UNESCO, which added the site to its World Heritage List in 1992, 1,000 years of history is written into its ruins, it said. Yet, beyond the fence marking out the protected parts of Syrian, residents of modern-day Shahat are taking possession of lands held in trust by the state, then selling them on to property developers. Other areas are being dug up by treasure seekers to smuggle looted artifacts to sell abroad. Some people are coming in and bulldozing areas containing artifacts, dividing them and selling them, then building housing blocks on top of these priceless sites, said Adel Abu Fedra of the Syrian Department of Antiquities. Abu Fedra said his department can't even measure how much has been lost, and the plots are outside and fenced under our protection. Syrian lines between the Egyptian border and Benghazi, one of the key cities that rose up against longtime dictator Muammar. The country has since fallen into anarchy and violence, which sparked fears for its rich ancient heritage. UNESCO in 2016 added Syrian and 4 other sites in Libya to its list of World Heritage in danger. The war saw the country splinter into fiefdoms under the control of kaleidoscope of militias, including the Islamic State group, which at one point held a stronghold in Derna, just 70 kilometers 45 miles further east. In other countries of Ethiopia, Ethiopia MP says Eritrea to withdraw troops from Tigray. Eritrea will pull its troops out of Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said Friday. A potential breakthrough is a drawn-out conflict that has seen atrocities carried out against civilians. The announcement comes as Abiy, winner of the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize, faces mounting pressure to end fighting, in which both Eritrean and Ethiopian troops stand accused of abuses, including mass killings and rapes. Abiy sent troops into Tigray on November 4th after blaming the region's once dominant ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF), for attacks on army camps. For months, both Addis Ababa and Asmara denied Eritrean troops were in Tigray, contradicting accounts from residents, aid workers, diplomats, and even some Ethiopian civilian and military officials. Abiy finally admitted Eritrea's role in an appearance before lawmakers Tuesday, then flew Thursday to Asmara to meet the Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki. During the visit, the government Eritrea has agreed to withdraw its forces out of the Ethiopian border, Abiy said in a statement posted to his Twitter account on Friday. The Ethiopian National Defense Force will take over guarding the border areas effective immediately. Eritrean Information Minister Yeman Gembriskel did not immediately respond to an emailed request for comment. Ethiopia and Eritrea fought a border war beginning in 1998 that left tens of thousands dead and resulted in a 2-decade stalemate. Abiy won his Nobel in large part for initiating a surprise rapprochement with Isaias after taking office in 2018, but Eritrea and the TPLF remain bitter enemies. In his wide-ranging speech to Parliament Tuesday, Abiy said the Eritrean people and government did not last in favor to our soldiers during the conflict in Tigray. His statement Friday noted that the TPLF fired rockets on Asmara multiple times, thereby provoking the Eritrean government to cross Ethiopian borders and prevent further attacks and maintain its national security. Withdraw all forces and establish an international observatory team. The world mustn't be fooled again. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called for the exit of the Eritrean as well as forces from Ethiopia's Amhara region, who have played a key role in securing parts of western and southern Tigray. Amara officials, however, say these parts of Tigray rightfully belong to them. Abiy claimed victory to Tigray in late November after Ethiopian troops took Mekelle, but TPLF leaders remain on the run and continue fighting. Here lies the end of the local story. Stay tuned as I bring you the foreign stories.
The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned. Download the TuneIn app onto your mobile phone today and catch up on all the latest news from Hitzafrik Radio, broadcasting live.
You're still logged on to Hitzafrik Radio and TV. www.hitzafrikradio.org, our main website. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube as Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Now let's do some foreign stories. Rwanda genocide report to focus on French links. French President Emmanuel Macron is set to receive a report from historians who were tasked with studying France's link to the 1994 Rwanda genocide, in which at least 800,000 people died. Publication of the report could help to ease French-Rwanda tensions, as Rwanda has long accused France of complicity. From April to June 1994, ethnic Hutu extremists massacred Rwanda's minority Tutsi community and moderate Hutus. A Hutu elite ruled Rwanda at the time. France has kept official files secret. President Macron appointed the 15-member commission 2 years ago, giving them access to presidential, diplomatic, military, and intelligence archives. The presidency says the report will be handed to Mr. Macron at 15:30 GMT and will then be made public, AFP news agency reports. Among the archives are those of then President François Mitterrand, who had close ties to former Rwanda President General Habyarimana, a Hutu. The genocide was sparked by the downing on 6 April 1994, a plane carrying Habyarimana on his Burundian counterpart, Cyprien Ntaryamira, a fellow Hutu. The commission members are not Rwanda specialists. This was a deliberate choice to ensure the neutrality. AFP reports they include aspects on the Holocaust, on the massacre and Armenians in World War I, and to the international criminal law. They are led by historian Vincent Duclerc. Presentational grade line, more on the Rwanda genocide. Rwanda's 100 days of slaughter, court-backed extradition of Rwanda genocide suspects. My father, the rapist hidden victims of Rwanda genocide, the real story behind the Black Earth Rising. Presentational grade line on the 22nd of June 1994. The United Nations authorized the deployment of French forces in southwest Rwanda in what was called Operation Turquoise. The mission was controversial. The French humanitarian zone saved some potential victims from the genocidal killers. But later there were accusations that the French help came too late, that some killers were able to hide in the zone. In 2015, then President François Hollande announced that the Rwanda archives would be classified. But 2 years later, after a researcher sought permission to study them, France's Constitutional Council ruled that they should remain secret. In another country of foreign affairs is China. Xinjiang cotton Western cloth brand vanishes as backlash growth. Several major brands have expressed concern over allegations the members of the mostly Muslim Uyghur minority group are being used as forced labor. Some companies' online shops are blocked and their stores have vanished from some digital maps. It comes after several Western countries imposed sanctions on China. China initially targeted H&M and Nike, but that has widened to include Burberry, Adidas, and Converse. Among others, while H&M physical stores in China remain, it is also longer possible to hail a taxi to the shops using an app and consumers can't shop online. Instead, China is championing local brands. China is accused of committing serious human rights violations against Uyghurs in Xinjiang. It is alleged that Uyghur people are forced to pick cotton that supplies the global market. Beijing denies this and has hit back with retaliatory sanctions on European lawmakers, scholars, and institutions, with latest imposed on UK entities and individuals on Friday. In December, the BBC published an investigation based on new research showing China was forcing hundreds of thousands of minorities, including Uyghurs, into manual labor in Xinjiang's cotton fields. In just 24 hours, H&M has been all but erased from China's digital world. You can't buy its tops and dresses on the biggest online retail platforms. You can't get a taxi to take you to one of its shops, one of the biggest ride-hailing apps. The physical stores are still there and open, almost all of them, but in the sphere where China's ruling Communist Party and coordinates most quickly, H&M has disappeared. Only sales figures and decisions from the firm's Sweden HQ will accurately reveal the impact this campaign is having. But previous efforts targeting South Korea's Lot team in particular show how effective it can be. Lot stores are no more here after it got caught up in a diplomatic row, Beijing and Seoul. Top celebrities in China, including singer Eason Chan and movie stars Chang Xinxin and Bai Qingtian, have since said they would never ties with some of these brands. Chinese tech giant Tencent has halted its partnership with British luxury brand Burberry, which had designed outfits for Honor of Kings, one of China's biggest video games. Moving on to another story of our foreign affairs is Germany. Germany tightens borders amid alarm over pandemic. Germany could see 100,000 infections a day if the third wave of coronavirus spreads unchecked, the head of the RKI Public Health Institute has warned. Random German checks and compulsory tests will be enforced on the French border, France's foreign minister says, because the pandemic in Germany is exploding faster than they thought. Negative tests would also be required for airport arrivals from Tuesday. Officials fear the third wave could be more challenging than the first two. With infections running out more than 20,000 a day, Health Minister Jens Spahn warned, if this continues unchecked, we run the risk of our health system hitting breaking points in April. Germany is among a number of European countries where COVID infections have been rising fast this week. Cases are up in Poland by 35%, and health officials in both countries say the spread of the UK Kent variant is behind the surge, no taboo for French measures. France has also seen a big increase in cases, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said it will be classed as a high-risk zone. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian told National Radio it will mean that on the German border random checks would be more reinforced than now, with compulsory tests and quarantine recommended. 19 areas of France have been placed under lockdown, and more than 4,700 people are now being treated in intensive care. The Greater Paris region is one of the worst affected areas, with almost 600 cases per 100,000 people. The average French incidence rate in the past week is above 200 cases, while in Germany it is 119 per 100,000 people. President Emmanuel Macron said late on Thursday night there would be no taboo as far as further measures were concerned. On Friday, the government spoke of a race against time as it beefed up checks at stations, airports, and rope tolls in the 19 affected areas. A woman waited to be vaccinated at the indoor Velodrome National of Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines in Montigny-le-Bretonneux, southwest of Paris. Although schools are still open in these areas, which now include the Rhône area around Lyon, most businesses are shut and travel in or out are barred without a compelling reason. Yella is the end of the foreign story. Stay tuned as I fetch you the entertainment news. You're still logged on to Hitzafrik Radio. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Hitzafrik Radio. You're streaming live on www.hitzafrikradio.org. You can as well follow us on all our social media handles at Hitzafrik Radio. Now let's do some entertainment news. Nana Ama McGraw speaks to the media following court appearance. A few hours ago, Ghanaian actress and TV host Nana Ama McGraw spoke to the media after making an appearance in court earlier today in connection with Budo's trial. She spoke to Nkonkonsa.com about what transpired in court and cleared the air on issues surrounding why she was in court with the head of productions at UTV, Mr. Roger Kwati. She told the entertainment website that they went to court because of Bulldog trial as procedures demanded. Mr. Kwati, who spoke, said that the court case has been adjourned till 31st of March 2020, and they will be there to continue the proceedings. Nana Ama McGraw also allayed the fears of fans of UTV Ghana and her United Showbiz show on the trial. She said she isn't the one standing trial, so fans should not be too worried about the situation. She said subsequent editions of United Showbiz will not be affected by the trial and they will come as planned. She added that they can't say everything because the matter is still before court, but fans are assured that everything is all right and she is not only in trouble. She advised the media and the general public to be decorous with their commentary on the case. In other stories, Efia Schwarzenegger hires son as a supervisor for her pure water business. It seems Efia Schwarzenegger's son, James, has still not fully recovered after being depressed after his mother humiliated his girlfriend to the extent of calling her a prostitute. She claimed none of her sons will marry any Ghanaian girl because she, Efia, is not willing to be an in-law to any Ghanaian parent. Though James seemed very depressed and has still not recovered, her other son, John, seemed to be doing very well. The young man was spotted in Efia officer, helping her sell her pure water, which she, Efia, claimed he is the supervisor for the day. The young man is very close to his mother, as they were spotted kissing like lovers. In other stories, we are not joking here, court warns Ikwapim Polo. The Circuit Court in Accra, presided over by her Anna, Christiana Khan, has issued a stern warning to lawyers of actress Rosamund Brown over the manner they are going about the case. In court on Friday, when the case was called, the lawyer of the accused person wrote to the court asking for the case to be adjourned to May 4th for the case management conference to be held. The purpose of the CMC is to identify essential issues in the litigation and to avoid unnecessary, burdensome, or duplicative discovery and other pretrial procedures in the court of preparing for the trial of those issues. But the court said that date was too long and rather adjourned the case to April 6th. The sitting judge said, "We are not joking here, so tell your lawyer to express her dissatisfaction with the situation and ask the accused to inform her lawyer about it." Actress Roman Alaji Brown, popularly known as Ikuapim Polo, has been charged with the publication of nude pictures with a 7-year-old son. Court correspondent Matela Inusa reports the Ikuapim Polo was present in court when the case was called, but her lawyer was absent. The outspoken actress is facing 3 charges of publications of obscene materials, engaging in domestic violence, conduct that in any way undermines another person's privacy or integrity, and engaging in domestic violence, namely conduct that in any way detracts or is likely to detract from another person's dignity and worth as a human being. Rosamond, who had displayed her naked picture with her son on social media on 30th June 2020, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The circuit court, however, admitted her to bail in the sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis with 4 sureties. 2 of the sureties are to be justified with landed property worth same amount. In addition to the bail conditions, the court said the title deed of the property should be deposited at the court's registry pending the final determination of the matter. This was after her lawyer Philip Kofi Beakon had prayed the court to admit her to bail on grounds she is a well-known person. He said his client has people of substance who will stand as sureties when granted bail. The prosecution did not oppose to the bail application. A brief fact of the case presented to the court by the prosecution, led by Chief Inspector Agatha Asantua, were that the complainant is Bright K. Apia, the director of Child Rights International Ghana. According to the prosecution, on June 30th, 2020, the accused person celebrated her son's 7th birthday, and she took her nude pictures together with her son, who was also half naked, and posted same on her Instagram page, which went viral on social media. She told the court that the pictures attracted comments, adding that the behavior of the accused person was likely to detract from the dignity of a 7-year-old son, among others. Chief Inspector Agatha told the court that the complainant's petition to Director General Criminal Investigations Directorate and the matter was referred to the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit. Ikuapim Polo, she said, was arrested in her caution statement, admitted posting the nude pictures with her son unintentionally, but the prosecution held that Rosamond had deliberately posted the nude pictures together with her son. Here lies the end of the news for tonight. Stay tuned as I bring you a recap of today's headlines. You're still logged on to the Hitzafrik Radio. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at Hitzafrik Radio. Now let's do the recap of today's headlines. Avoid Easter conventions, Palm Sundays, and Easter Monday picnics. Collaborate with engineers for national development. NGO initiates project to get girls back to God. Tullow to invest 2.4 billion in oil fields. Germany tightens borders amid alarm over pandemic. NGO initiates project to get girls back to school. These and many other stories I brought away this evening. My name is Abina Ahunier. Have a blessed weekend and a good evening.